What is up, folks? Welcome back to Foul Ball Talk with Tim Malarkey. This is the All Things Baltimore sports show brought to you by Great H Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. We have a couple of series to recap, but before we begin, let me bring on my esteemed co-host, Tim. Tim, what's going on, buddy?
Matt, what's going on? It's a great day. Any day is a great day when you take a series from the Yankees.
Yes, it is. It's been a rough week in Birdland, so to speak. I know that we took 3 out of 4 from New York, but we had an atrocious showing against the Oakland Athletics, who I predicted last week on the show that we were going to go 7-1 on this home stretch, on this homestand here, and we finished 4-3, and little disappointing.
Very, to say the least. We flat out, just put it lightly, pissed down our legs against the A's. That was an atrocious showing against a not so good baseball team. Nothing against the A's. They're very scrappy. Our offense fell flat on our face. And then, me in the back of my mind thinking the Yankees are coming to town. I got nervous, but I was pleasantly surprised with the second series. So, and I told you last week, Matt, the most important thing about this Yankee series and what it comes down to at the end of the year is taking 3 of 4. Winning 3 games out of a 4-game series is huge.
And that also catapults us to first place in the AL East to finish out the month of April into the early part of May. We are sitting atop the pretty competitive AL East so far. It's always nice to beat the Yankees. It was a little bit of a bummer that Corbin Burns got that loss yesterday. He had one bad pitch the whole game, man. It was that home run.
Yeah,
and it didn't even look like a home run.
Yep, he's got a thing. My better half says it all the time. Corbin Burns has to let one go in the first inning. It just seems like we're at that point where he has to let one go and then he settles in, and that's kind of been his track record. I think it's 5 games he's let a run score in the first inning. So,
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was the first loss of the year for Corbin. It's it was just disheartening that we kind of fell silent with the bats, considering that we could have taken advantage of a pretty average pitcher, to say the least. And Luis Gil threw almost 7 fantastic innings against us last night. And it was nice to, kind of bounce back today. The bats became alive again, and Bradish is back
incredible
on the mound for us, which is a nice thing.
Oh yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. I was getting a little nervous because it took a little while.
He had borderline filthy stuff.
Yeah, it took a little while this morning for that announcement to come out. I mean, we knew it was Bradish coming, but I got a little nervous thinking, are they really about to trot Means out there today? But sure enough, it came through. And a little interesting thing about the roster move this morning that came through, we currently only have 39 men on our 40-man roster right now. Don't know if you know that, but that's something to think about. There's been a lot of talking on the interwebs with us sitting at 39 currently on the 40-man. I like ketchup. I don't like mayo, but mustard. But I really, really, really hate mayo. But I would love to see some mayo fill that 39th spot.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Kobe come up. Bob Haney today on the. I was listening to him on my drive to work. That it might be time to explore Westberg at second and bring Mayo up at third for the time being.
Yeah, Mayo has to be a 3 or a 1.
Yeah, and he can play the sparing right field, but you wouldn't want to put him out there too often. It's a little bit interesting with how the lineup is going right now, because the same 5 guys are hitting, and we're getting spot production from the bottom half of the order, but Santander is starting to worry me a little bit.
There's 3 guys.
It's still early.
Mm-hmm. I got 3 guys, Matt, and the first one's Santander, and then there's 2 others that are worrying me. Not worrying me to where I'm, grabbing the backpack and heading to the hills type of worry. But Santander's worrying me. Mullins right now is, I can't remember what it is. He's 18 for 81 in his last 25 games and 3 for 27 now in the last 8. And then a fan favorite that's worrying me right now, Colton Cowser. He is 3 for 27 in his last 9 games. So I wouldn't say the Santander and the Mullins are established, and I'm more worried about them. Cowser openly spoke on a podcast yesterday or the day before that his red hot streak to what we're seeing now is because the MLB now has a book on him. He's not seeing any fastballs. He's seeing all off speed breaking stuff, and he needs to learn how to adjust. And hearing him say that himself and openly and talk about it and how he's working through it right now to adjust to what the league has adjusted to him is promising. I think he's going to figure it out. But the Santander and Mullins, I'm with you. A little worried.
Yeah. I think that Cowser's just kind of going through the adjustment of now pitchers having a scouting report on him more or less than anything else.
Exactly.
Because all of his home runs this year have been straight up muscled fastballs that were like meatballs, so to speak. I'm not making any excuses for any of the pitchers that have given up home runs to him, but dude's a fastball hitter. And as much as I love Cedric Mullins, the defense is impeccable.
It is.
18 for 81 is absolutely horrible.
It is.
At what point in time do you got to figure out, like, hey, let's package him together with one of these guys we're not going to bring up, and let's go get another bullpen arm. Let's go get somebody that we can possibly put in the starting rotation and really kind of like get rid of this whole 6-man rotation idea slash having three long men rotate into that number 5 rotation spot.
No, I mean I'm with you on that.
He's a liability in the lineup at this point. What do you do?
It's a lot of pop-ups from Cedric right now, and I went back and looked at like his last 3 years, and he does that thing in April where he gets hot for a couple weeks, and then so that's kind of the norm for him. He did have the 30-30 season where he stayed hot.
But that was 5 years ago.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
That was 5 years ago. Tim, it's 5 years. It was 2019, I believe. He had a 30-30.
Yep, and now you're kind of seeing a repeat of the last 2 years as far as the script goes with his at bats. He gets that couple. He gets 2-3 weeks where he's red hot in April, and then it just turns into a guy who's batting 210. And
210 isn't going to cut it.
No, it's not. Not when you have Mayo, who just hit his 3rd homer of the night down there. And I mean, I know Mayo's not an outfield, and we would need to plug that hole, but we have people on our team to plug the hole. Your favorite player actually plugged the hole today and hit a home run. Ryan McKenna out there doing his thing.
Oh God. It's just that whole Ryan McKenna thing is like astounding to me. I don't know why or how this guy continuously takes up a spot on the 40 and the 26. It baffles me, and I'll never ever in my life understand why he is getting the reps that he's getting.
Well,
when out of everybody out of all the guys that are knocking on the door, he is the one that is not producing at the level of the rest. Kobe Mayo is I was listening to the fan earlier, and he's going to have 110 games in AAA if he stays down there the rest of this month.
Yep.
That's the equivalent of almost an entire major league season.
Yep.
That's a season and a half of minor league ball at the AAA level. The dude is hitting absolute monster home runs. Bring him to Baltimore, get him at the corner, either first or third, and put Westberg at second so we don't have to see Mateo or Urias in the goddamn lineup, or McKenna for that matter. And let's just put together a solid 1 through 9 in this lineup. Mayo hitting in 5 or 6 right now would look fantastic for the Orioles.
It would. And as Steph mentioned, bringing up McKenna and Mateo. So today they both went the yard, but I got a little interesting, numbers guy. So I got this little stat to run by you about Mateo and McKenna. And I want to see who parlayed at any time he'll run with the two of them. Because if they did, they're probably on an island already. But entering today, Thursday, McKenna homered in 1.18% of his MLB plate appearances. Jorge Mateo did so in 2.06%. Using solely their career home run rates, the probability of McKenna and Mateo homering in the same inning was 0.024%, and it happened today.
Mateo is nothing. Mateo is nothing more than a pinch runner. His defense was great for 1 year. He can't hit. I don't care about the home run. He can't hit.
He's sneakily been getting up and getting like one hit every time he's in the lineup. So I mean it's nothing to shake a stick at, but he's hanging in there. I'd rather see him than McKenna and Urias. We know that, but
yeah, but like Mateo is like this generation's Ryan Flaherty. Like you don't know why he's here, but he's here.
He is,
and he's just a faster Ryan Flaherty at this point.
Yep. I know we're talking about these hitters and everything, but I wanted to highlight the fact that we are now number one, as you said. But what stands out to me the most is that we have now won or tied 4 straight series versus the New York Yankees. And we are now 12-0-4 in the past 16 AL East series. The Baltimore baby birds, whatever you want to call them, they're not babies anymore. We're here to play. This is our division now. And I watched some of the Yankee interviews, scrolling my phone after the game, and Glaber said that we punched them in the face and that they need to figure out how to beat us. And if you got the Yankees saying that now, it's time to run, Matt. So that leads me to my point of, when is the pitching help going to show up?
I think right now they're relying on the cavalry within the organization. Bradish is back. He's probably going to be on a pitch count.
I think we saw that today.
I think he got the 80 pitches today and they yanked him.
Mm-hmm.
Means is due back this weekend. He's probably going to get one of those games against the Cincinnati Reds. There's a guy that I'm going to keep on bringing up every single show. He is absolutely lights out in AAA right now. His ERA is under 1.4. Cade Povich needs to be in Baltimore. I don't care if he's another long man. If you make him middle relief, Povich needs to be up here. He will help our bullpen. Let's end this goddamn Michael Baumann experience. Ryan Webb is
Jacob Webb.
I'm sorry, Jacob Webb is pitching for his life right now, and
I was about to cut you off there. I was about to say, Matt,
he's pitching for his life right now.
Yeah, because he's hot and he's untouchable right now.
I mean, we sent Ramirez down today.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan, maybe.
Well, Keegan has an option. That's the only thing
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah.
But Povich is in no man's land right now.
He is. And
he deserves to be up here. He's filthy.
I think, obviously, everyone that's listening and watching and knows how I feel, the Ballman experience needs to die and go away and crawl into a corner somewhere. That's obvious. But I think when you're talking about Means coming back, and then don't forget Wells has to come back too, it's hard when you look at, and I've texted you about this, like, where do you find space to get these guys in here? And it's either going to be, unfortunately, like the two names that it boils down to are Suarez and Aiken. And Aiken, he has options. So it sucks because I like what the kid's doing right now. But
I think Aiken might go down because I think Aiken's probably one of those guys that needs to have the ball in his hand a little bit more often.
Constantly, yeah.
I think Suarez can get away with being that spot starter / long guy. He got roughed up in his last start a little bit. I believe he got roughed up in the last game of the A's series, and I think he only went 4 innings that game, and I think he gave up 7 hits
it
and
was like
6 earned.
4 2/3.
Right, so he didn't even get out of the fifth inning, and uh, I think out of all the guys, I think you need to kind of keep him. Out of all the guys we're talking about, you can keep Suarez around because he is a starter. Aiken's only good for an inning or two, and I know he's a left-handed arm, but I think that
So, I
with
mean,
Aiken with him having an option, that's what is probably what it's going to boil down to.
if I haven't picked your brain on this yet, but openly just through our text messages, but since we're talking pitcher shop right now, I know where I believe the organization and what they're doing with Grayson right now may be. If I mean, some people are saying that he actually is hurt and they're waiting on test results, but I'd like to believe that if you look at his innings pitched and his pitch clock and count right now, that he last season he pitched the most he has ever pitched, and now they've come out of the door swinging with him as far as usage goes, and he probably is feeling a little sore. But at the same time, this might just be a little bit of roster manipulation / let the guy rest. He's young. Let's not burn him out now. We're going to need him during the stretch. Let's skip a couple starts while the troops are rallied before your boy Bradish goes for Tommy John.
I think this is going to be something along the lines of what the Baltimore Ravens do, where when they like a player and they don't like them enough to make the 53 this year, but they might be in line for the 53 next year, they do an IR stash move. So I think that it might happen with all of our pitchers not named Corbin Burns, to where they all might see a 15-day or 10-day IL stint to where they miss us 2 or 3 starts to kind of let all these arms, filter in and out of the rotation and into the bullpen. And we might see it with Bradish. If he doesn't have the Tommy John, you might see it with Means. You could see it with Suarez. You could see it with anybody. I think Hyde is going to be doing a little bit of uh, roster magic, so to speak, to make all these guys fit and get 28 to 30 starts to where they're not being overexposed.
Yep.
And then I think he's going to put his best 13 pitchers on this roster come playoff time.
No, I think you're right. My better half has also brought this up. She's big. This was the first thing she said to me when that roster move happened, and she's been on her shit following everything this year. So just gotta kind of let her ride and trust her instinct right now, because she's been right about a couple things, including the Mateo home run. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. We're not going to have any Mateo praise on this show.
I did want to bring up, Matt, an interesting thing, since we're talking about usage and roster management right now. Something a little interesting for you. Now, this is as of yesterday. I didn't run it for 31 games where we're at right now, but at 30 games, only 2 players have played or started or made an appearance played in all 30 games, and that's Gunnar Henderson and Cedric Mullins. 29 games is Adley Cowser and Santander. 28 games, this one shocked me a little bit, Westberg. 27, Mountcastle. And then you have a big fall off to 21, O'Hearn, Hayes at 19, Urias at 18, Mateo at 17. And then, you just fall into like your holidays and your Kemps early in the season. But it's hard for me to believe that I think Mullins has started or played in every game he played today. So that would put him at 31.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. Considering how horribly he's hitting, it's a surprise that he's been in every single ball game. Now, maybe they're just trying to hope that he'll kickstart a hot streak, but at what point do you just realize that Mullins is never going to be nothing more than a 210, 215, maybe 220 hitter?
I really thought today, with seeing McKenna get the start in center field, that he was going to take a hard off day. I mean, they had Urias to pinch hit. They had, but that wasn't the case. And Cedric came in to pinch hit. So I don't know. I also it's blown over my head the fact that Kowser has made an appearance in 29 games and Westberg at 28. So it seems like me as far as Hyde and the guys who sail the ship go, that Kowser and Westberg are now everyday Orioles.
Which is what it should be. I
Yeah.
mean, Westberg's been consistent all year long. Kowser up until recently had a very hot start, so he's earned his way into the everyday lineup, whether or not he's on a slump right now. But I think batting Kowser at around 8 or 9 right now is deserved until he can get out of his funk. Um, I just know that with the way the roster is constructed right now, with who we got waiting in the wings, it seems to me that they're not going to bring Stowers up.
I don't think so either.
So if writing is on the wall to me as a fan and as somebody with a little bit of common sense towards it, Stowers might be a trade chip. I don't believe Kerstad is any longer because he's now on the major league roster, and I know he's not getting a lot of at bats, but he is firmly entrenched on the 26 right now,
So yeah,
at
to
least
T on that,
for the time being.
I think that him not having the at bats is showing that he's not a trade chip, because that's why Stowers isn't getting the call. Teams don't want to see and judge and decide if they're taking a guy who's sitting on the bench swinging the bat once a week. That's why Stowers is down there and he's in the lineup every day so that teams can see what he's doing and he's taking consistent at bats. With Kerstead, like he's up. Today was his third game since he's been up, third appearance. So it's like, or I'm sorry, last night was his third appearance since he's been up. So it's evident that Kerstad is here to stay, in my opinion. Of course, that would all change if the offer is right from somebody. But
Yeah,
I,
obviously.
I think Stowers is literally being showcased, and that's what we're seeing.
And to a degree, I believe Norby is as well because after the Jackson Holiday uh, demotion, after his 10-game stint as an Oriole, Norby didn't come up immediately, and it was McKenna. And it's telling when they won't bring up an infielder who can play multiple spots in the infield, and they're now bringing up a center fielder who they just started giving reps at second base, who's never played the position at the major league or minor league level. It's actually insane to me that Norby didn't get a consideration for that.
Yeah, I think Norby and Stowers are your bait, so to speak, packaged in with maybe a Cedric. Although he's not helping his cause right now. That's the issue there. And unfortunately, the other person that they've talked about and that people think, could be a veteran that's used for trade potential is Santander, and he isn't helping his cause very much right now either. So, I mean, I don't know. I honestly am kind of at the belief now, like what you said earlier, that we are going to play the roster manipulation game with all of these pitchers we have, spread them out, 15-day IL here, 15-day IL there, and see how close to the trade deadline we can get before we see any kind of actual trade made, if there is one. But if Bradish pitches and gets his pitch count up and stays looking like he did today, and Means come back and gives us, 3/4 of the old Means, I'm confident in a Burns, Bradish, Means, Creamer, I would
Yeah.
say.
There's a guy on the screen from our friend Alex Contreras who covers the Miami Marlins. He would deal Jesus Luzardo straight up for Heston Kjerstad. Um,
didn't
that's a
was
little surprising. I think that Luzardo has a year or two left of control on his
didn't
deal.
he wasn't he just getting looked at for a possible injury? I never saw the after results. I thought I saw an injury
I'm
announcement.
not sure if he was getting looked at for either shoulder inflammation or UCL inflammation, but if the Miami Marlins called us tomorrow and said we want Kjerstad and we'll give you Luzardo, I would have to seriously consider that because
I would
right now
too.
Heston's our fourth outfielder,
He is.
and I love Heston. I think that he'll be a fantastic power hitter here in Baltimore. But if you have a chance to add somebody like Luzardo to your rotation,
Yeah, because
I mean,
then
I
we'd be talking.
imagine going. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
I was gonna say then we'd be talking about potential, late September starting five of Corbin Burns, Grayson Rodriguez, Lazardo, Bradish,
Bradish and
and
Means.
Means, and that
That's
that would
formidable right there.
that would put Irvin, Wells, Kramer all in the pen.
And then if you bring up Povich
Shoo.
and you keep Webb and you keep Perez around, and you got Cano and oh god, my prediction is so fucking wrong about him.
What, Cano?
No, Kimbrel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's starting his shit early this year.
Yeah, I mean, a guy that has 400 and however many million saves, yeah, the engine in the car dies after a certain amount of miles. It's just how it is. I like the guy. It's not a knock on him. He's got the shoulder, whatever it is going on right now, but his control, I mean, I don't know if you watched his last two outings, and he was all over the place. And
Yeah, he's. I think he's at the point now where he's just a name, and I know we're only a month into the season, and I'm not ringing the alarm bells about Kimbrel yet, but I don't know if I want to go into a 7-game series with somebody like the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros and knowing Kimbrel is our save guy.
no,
That gives me a little bit of pause.
yeah, especially when, I mean, other than the first two games of the season today and maybe one game in between, we're not blowing the door off of these games. I mean, we're up by 2-3. That's part of the overuse issue is we're not in a position where Hyde's comfortable to send guys out there like he did today. And I don't know. I mean, I know it was just his first time back, but and in this house we haven't been typically a fan of him, but Ciano Perez had some nasty stuff in his return. So I think that he's as close as it gets as to having somebody right now that's really got that stuff at the end. I mean, we don't have anybody that's coming out at 98, 99 miles an hour to finish a game off. We just don't have it right now. There's not a guy on the team. So it's I don't know.
Now we got GM Alex Contreras, playing Miami GM, giving us Tanner Scott back. That would be
Tanner
fantastic.
Scott back. Man, that's a
That
name.
Avisel Garcia's contract, and you can give us a quality arm to replace Luzardo. We can send him Chase McDermott.
Yeah.
Chase McDermott, maybe Kerstad. Maybe a Judd Fabian will get that done.
And Tanner, man, he was slowly becoming a household name around these parts until we sold him off. A lot of people were anticipating him to come up and make a lot of noise. Yeah.
He's absolutely filthy here too, down there too.
Yep. No, but I mean that's literally what we're missing right now. We're missing one starter, and we're missing someone with either a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that can punch you in the teeth, or somebody that's got some nasty wiffle balls that they're throwing in. And the closest thing that we have to it right now, as the roster sits today and the games unfold, is Ciano Perez, who just came back from injury,
and he's looking good. I'll say this: you never know what you're going to get with him. You never know what you're going to get. But I have a soft spot for Perez.
He was amped, man.
He's a heart and soul of the ball club kind of guy to me.
Yeah, you and I both going to an all boys Catholic high school and being surrounded by athletics our whole life. When you show passion, we love it and we eat it alive. I mean, every pitch he was making, he was grunting and grinning and screaming and fist bobbing, and it's good to see because I love Keegan Aiken, but I'm pretty sure. I think maybe I've seen a glove clap from him, like the emotion side of things. So it's cool. Cano does his little stance. I get it, but I was just disappointed nobody beamed Soto in the thigh and left him a little tattoo.
No, now the thing is, I've argued with a couple people on social media, one being my cousin EJ. Um, Out of all pitchers on the mound for us that you don't want to retaliate against the New York Yankees is Corbin Burns.
Yeah, of course not.
Because I don't care who's behind the plate. Soto doing all that, showboating shit and the pimping the home run ball and all that stuff, and then Burns comes out first inning and nails him in the hip or the thigh. They're tossing him.
They're tossing him. Yeah,
I was telling people, why do you want Burns to get ejected?
they're
Because
tossing him.
knowing our goddamn luck, Burns will get ejected.
No, they would toss him. I was hoping we would get some kind of slide into second where he would put his stupid hand up and Gunnar would tear that thing off. But no, you're right. They would toss him. And also, Matt, I kind of feel like that's not really this team's MO. They're almost like the good kids, like the good boys, the good guys. Like they're
frat boys, but they're not like
no,
in your face aggressive.
no. That's the Brewers.
Yeah, the Brewers are a problem right now, like for the league.
What do we have?
They seem to get into a fight almost every single week.
Yeah, I mean they threw hands. There was hand throwing 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
So
I don't care what anybody says or does. Seeing Rufnet Odor punch Joey Batista in the face years ago, that's forever going to be my favorite baseball fight.
That was great, and that's why I always had a soft spot for Odor, always.
Yep.
But Matt, real quick, if you want to swivel over to this, we got a big series coming up against the Reds. I think people kind of underestimate. Let me see if I can pull this up here. What do we got? All right, so Reds, going to see them. They have like one of the premier guys in the league that's being talked about in the same category as Gunnar and Bobby Witt, and he is tearing it up. Last year he was inconsistent. This is Ellie De La Cruz's spray chart through this year right now. He's lighting it up. He has 18 stolen bases this year. I'm excited to just see the series against him because I'm
gonna pull that up, Tim. I'm gonna pull it up, Tim. But we're gonna come back to the comment that Alex left us. Give me 1 second. So here we go. Spray chart.
Yep.
And who is this for?
This is Ellie De La Cruz, who we're about to see in Cincy.
That dude hits like 120-mile-an-hour missiles.
He does, and he also has stolen 18 bases. He's the fastest guy in baseball right now, and he is. I've read a lot of articles where people were talking about their big 3 breakout players, their young stars, the face of baseball, and it's Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., and Ellie. So I'm excited for this series. I think the Reds are slept on a little bit. I don't think that they're anywhere near as high on the contender list as we are, but I still think it's going to be a good series, and I'm really excited. Just like watching good baseball, so I'm excited to see this guy play.
He's going to be fun to watch for a long time. I just hope he doesn't come here and decides that he's going to hit a home run to Utah Street every single night.
I agree.
He has like light tower power kind of stuff, and he is a fantastic all-around player. I think that he is what the Pittsburgh Pirates thought O'Neal Cruz was going to be.
And definitely. And I think we might get lucky enough to escape. I have to look. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this. We might be able to escape a Burns start. And I'm not in fear of Burns start because Ellie would hit him. I'm in fear of a Burns start because Burns has one of the slowest deliveries to Adley, and Adley can't throw out a bag to save his life right now. So Ellie's on base. He's stealing his way to third every time, no matter what. I mean, he has 18 stolen bases. Watching him steal bases is literally hilarious. It's almost like it's a cheat code, like I'm watching MLB The Show. But
yeah,
I'm excited for the series. I've been looking forward to seeing him play all year. So, and then after them, we got Toronto, Matt, first time
We
facing
got the
them.
we got the two games. We got 2 game series with the Washington Nationals.
Oh yeah, we got the Nationals. Man.
I always like the Interstate 95 matchup.
Of course.
It's always good to play the little brothers down south, even though they about 6 or 7 years ago they were the team to beat. I think I'm gonna say we're gonna go 2 out of 3 with Cincinnati, and I think we're gonna sweep Washington,
Yeah, I'm going 2-3 with the sweep of the Nats.
and then we have the Blue Jays,
Oh
I
yeah.
believe the Diamondbacks,
Yep, the
and the
Diamondbacks.
Cardinals coming up towards the end of the month.
Diamondbacks
Um,
is the good weekend series. Excited for that one too.
Before we wrap the show, our faithful commenter from the 305, Luzardo, Tanner Scott, Edward Cabrera, and throwing in Luis Reyes for Santander, Kerstad, and Jackson Holiday's not going anywhere.
No,
That
he
he
is in the untouchable bucket.
Yes, he is. He's absolutely in the untouchable bucket. But if they wanted like Norby or Stowers in that deal, yeah. But
No,
I think
yeah,
Jackson Holiday is the only untouchable uh, prospect we got right now.
he definitely is. I know we're getting close to wrapping this up here. I did have one more thing open that I wanted to talk about.
No problem.
Um,
Let's get to it.
and he is. I feel like I brought this up on last week, and I always started off by saying I know his name's not slept on. He's the second, third most seen jersey in there. I just think that it needs to be talked about every time. Let me just pull it up on the screen, and then I'll let you decide what you think you're looking at here. But he is obviously the heartbeat of this team. I know, and it's not Gunnar Henderson. I know I might take some slack for that, but I got it up now.
Adley.
Yeah, I mean, he is clutch. He is the definition of clutch. I don't know where we would be without this kid right now. This guy. I keep saying kid because I'm so used to how young these guys are, but he's a grown ass man and he's playing like one. And I mean, this is just his. You can see it. Those are his averages. He's got the box covered. He literally has the box.
He
covered.
is quietly having probably one of the best seasons an Oriole catcher has had in years.
Yeah, he is. And it feels like every time he's at the plate and we need something to happen, it's Adley.
All we're talking about in Baltimore right now is Gunner and all that. But, even when they were talking about Jackson coming up, to me, it's just one of those things where Adley is probably going to be an all-star again with the way he's hitting.
Definitely.
He's going to be an all-star. If he's in the home run derby again, I would not be shocked. Even though he's not hitting a whole lot of them, I think he still makes that, type. He's fun to watch in that too.
Yeah, he is.
And a lot of people thought that Gunner leapfrogged Adley in terms of overall being the best Oriole, and he may have, but Adley's making a case right now for being like a top overall 10-15 player in the entire Major League Baseball right now.
No, he is. And the best way that I could look at it, because you brought up a good point with Gunnar leapfrogging him for best Oriole. I think if you step back and you say, who's the best Oriole on the team, I think that the answer to that question still might be Gunnar. But if you asked me, bottom of the ninth, guy on first, guy on second, you're down by 3 runs, who do you want at the plate? My answer is Adley.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's just he delivers. He delivers.
I'll say this too, Tim. If it's not Adley, it's either Gunner or Jordan Westberg that I'm moving up there.
Westberg. Yep.
Westberg's another clutch hitter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Those 3 guys right there. We've been hearing about them in Baltimore for what seems like almost a decade now, with the anticipation of these COVID drafts coming, up to the big leagues, and we're sitting in first place at the beginning of May. Just took 3 or 4 from New York. We're heading into a series with Cincinnati and Washington in the next couple of weeks. Um,
Did you happen to see what Daddy David tweeted after he's on one now?
yeah, he is.
He tweeted, "It's a long season, but so far so good." And then he posted a screenshot, not of just the division, of only the Orioles sitting above the Yankees in the win-loss column, and then he titled it "Safe Travels Home at New York Yankees."
The man knows what he's doing, and I think this is a turning point right now where the Yankees aren't just going to have 30,000 fans travel down from New York City and wherever they're from and overtake Camden Yards and take 3 or 4 from us. Those days are gone.
I was at 2 of 4, and they were still there. There were still a lot of them, but it was nowhere near like what it has been in the last 5 years.
Yeah, there's a new bully in the sandbox, and they're wearing black and orange, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the year plays out because we only have 11 more games against New York, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how things shake out before the All-Star break. We're now heading into the warmer months. Know, our GM of Miami keeps on throwing out trade scenarios. We'll get to that closer to the trade deadline. We can probably have Alex come on, but that'll do it for the show tonight, Tim. We will be back next Thursday at 8 o'clock. I was a little late tonight. I've had a couple late nights, at work for training. I'm fighting through allergies right now, so yeah, it's just been a long week. But we'll be back next Thursday at 8 o'clock, and we will be recapping the Cincinnati Reds and the Washington Nationals series. Tim, let everybody know where they can find you on social media because you are the Baltimore Orioles tweeter extraordinaire.
I am. I am on the X or Twitter, T_Malarkey. There's an E at the end there, but T_Malarkey on Twitter. You got me on Facebook. I also usually cross post there too, but everything Orioles all day. I will overload your feed.
There you have it, folks. Thank you to everybody for following along tonight. Stephanie, thank you for threatening to not make me mistakes twice today. Not only once, but twice.
Hey, you got a shot not only at the 40, you got a shot at him being the home run leader now that Trout's gone.
That is absolutely it's crazy how he's having a miracle month and all of a sudden he's in the IL.
Mm-hmm.
Rendon he's already a chicken shit anyway. He's already on the injured reserve or the injury list. Now Trout, I mean, I saw this comment, and I don't want to extend the show too long. I saw this comment on social media where Mike Trout might be the only case of first ballot Hall of Famer, but is still the biggest what if.
What if?
If he probably gets near the home run record if he's ever hurt.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy, man. But thank you for tuning in, everybody. We will be back next Thursday at 8 p.m. Tim, always good talking to you, buddy.
You know it. Catch you next Thursday, Matt.